Now, I always say on a Monday through like a Thursday or like the weekend, this is not a normal life. But there were some things on social media and on the radio that really annoyed the dog crap out of me. I'm going to get into that in a minute with Dr. Johnson. But I got to address Mr. Richard John Santorum, also known as Rick Santorum. And I use people's full government names because it's about time that to get in that ass. So, unfortunately, I share a zodiac sign with Mr. Santorum. Well, Richard. I share the same zodiac sign with Richard John Santorum. So Richard decides that he wants to be a complete ass. You know, it's a video, so I can't play it because I'm not like on my live. But Richard basically disregarded Native Americans as if there was nobody here in the United States of America. It was only Europeans that came here. Colonizers. Richard said that, this country started out with a blank slate, the birth of a nation. Those are some key terms, I quote. Not the full context, but I watched the video enough to know we started out, that's what he said, we started out with a blank slate. We birthed this nation. Yeah, there were Native Americans, not using the term indigenous people. Yeah, we started out with a blank slate. So, to Richard John Santorum, aka Rick Santorum. So, Richard needs to understand, or should have understand, or should have just said, like, yeah, my folks came here from Europe, Italy to be exact, because the last name Santorum, he's Italian, and was nice to the indigenous people, had sex with them, then proceeded to colonize in front of their face and kill them off. Yeah, Richard forgot that part of history. No, we started out with a blank slate. So Richard, I want you to understand, as I just said, Richard John Santorum, your ancestors, aka the European colonizers from Italy, came to this country, was friendly to the indigenous folks when you came to their land, had sex with them, produced children with them, and then took their land and killed them off. And let me not get started with your ancestors, what they did to my people. Brought us here involuntarily to Ben Carson. And, whoop us. And we didn't, serve them. Had sex with us, had children with us too. And sodomized us. And then once we got our freedom, what he did, or what his ancestors did, put in Jim Crow laws, aka segregation laws, for many years until the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act in the 60s. And proceeded to still show their ass to this day. So, Richard, you can go ahead with that birth of a nation. We started out with the blank slate bullshit. Because, obviously your racist ass missed that part of history and refused to acknowledge that part of history of what your ancestors did, sir. So that is all on Rick Santorum. Hey, Wolf Girl, how are you? Just got into my fellow Taurian Richard Santorum's ass. Now, the Ashy Hoteps, and yes, I call them Ashy. Dr. Omar Johnson appeared on the Breakfast Club, and I'm just going to read the subtitle because it's about time I do. Because I just had enough of this whoop black man bullshit, but don't know their exact black history or just don't know civics. Don't know nothing. No shit. So let me just find this. I'm just going to find a description. Dr. Omar on why Joe Biden hasn't done anything for black people. He went off on this whole rant about Joe Biden, his first day in office. He signed an Asian, what is it? The anti-violence bill against Asians. He haven't done anything for black people. And then he got on to saying stuff about Kamala Harris, saying that India is the most populated area because, you know, she was picked as vice president because of the Indians, and Indians are becoming the more, you know, the rising majority and all of this shit. So there was so many things that should have been debunked by Charlemagne the God, aka Leonard. But Leonard was too infused to hear him bashing Joseph Robinette Biden. That's why I'm always in Charlemagne's ass. And I've been in Charlemagne's ass before he got to the Breakfast Club. I remember watching him on MTV, and he was not that impressed. He didn't leave a good impression on me. So I'm not shocked that he let Dr. Johnson say that dumb shit. But for Dr. Johnson, it's only a quick Google research of Joseph Robinette Biden's, or President Joseph Robinette Biden's executive orders, because there was 40 of them that he signed. And one of them he signed was for black people. Advancing racial equity and support for underserved communities through the federal government. It was signed on 1/20/2021. And that was the first day that Joseph Robinette Biden became our president. He was sworn in, and that's the first thing he did. So I'll say this again. President Joseph Robinette Biden signed the Advancing Racial Equity and Support for Underserved Communities through the federal government. And that's supposed to help people. Supposed to help people of color. Underserved communities, that's black and brown people, mostly. Racial equity comes in a whole bunch of forms. Education, housing, let's see, jobs, infrastructure, access to financial gains, such as opening up a bank account, let's see, IRAs, etc., etc. So Dr. Johnson forgot that part. Or, you know what? He was woefully ignorant that he had to come up with his own talking points. And whoever works for him, I feel sorry for you that you have to work for an egotistical bastard like Dr. Johnson. Yeah, that Dr. Johnson. Jason Johnson is an actual legit doctor who studies his thing. But Dr. Omar Johnson, no. And what Dr. Omar Johnson failed to realize is the anti-violence bill against Asian Americans was not an executive order. It was a bill passed by the Senate. Overwhelmingly, 94 senators voted for the bill, exception of Joshua David Harley, which I'm not surprised. It has to get to the Senate in order to be signed. To the House in order to be signed, because I believe President Biden did not sign the bill yet. So I don't know what Dr. Johnson is talking about, because he made no sense. But overall, in that fucking interview, he basically lied, spreaded misinformation, misogynistic as hell, and just an overall dick. I mean, anybody could type in Biden's executive orders and a whole list of executive orders comes up. I email it to myself and I screenshot the one that was relevant to what the fuck he was talking about, and it was the racial equity support from the federal government to underserved communities. That's black and brown people. So for those who try to DM me on my Instagram talking about Dr. Johnson is intelligent and is a good conversation. It's not a good conversation. He lied. He fucking lied, and Charlemagne let him sit there and fucking lie. That's what the fuck he did. I'm not surprised that he let him sit there and lie about Joe Biden, because he doesn't like Joe Biden, because Joe Biden probably said some truth to him, even though it wasn't Joe Biden's place, but Joe Biden was wrong. It was no lies. None. None at all. But people are more surprised at him when it came to Kamala Harris, because he sat there and let him disparage the shit out of Kamala Harris. Keep in mind, Leonard was a surrogate for Kamala Harris and fundraised for her. He did. He did. But to the ashy hot taps, Dr. Johnson, I don't know who the fuck hurt you. I don't know if you got some whack ass pussy from a black woman, but I'll tell you this. Vice President Kamala Harris didn't do shit to you. Even President Biden didn't do nothing to you. All black women didn't do nothing to you, even though you don't pay your child support. That's a whole nother discussion. But yeah, bruh, nobody didn't do shit to you. But you want to go on radio stations and motherfucking lie. Lie your ass all over the national airwaves. And the fact that you wasn't fact checked, I really can't stand the Breakfast Club. I mean, I couldn't stand you guys before, but I really can't stand y'all. And the fact is that y'all are live in my city, that's embarrassing. That's real fucked up. So the heck with the Breakfast Club. And to Dr. Johnson, shut the fuck up when it comes to Kamala Harris. Keep her name out your motherfucking mouth. Period. Now, that was one other dragon I slayed. So, Miss Gray. Oh, Miss Gray. Miss Gray is really going through some shit. Like, it's some real tough shit. She's having a psychotic breakdown on social media, and we're witnessing it in front of we're witnessing it right in front of full stream. So I'm going to pull up the tweet because I find it very fascinating. Just very fascinating. So here we go. I'm really exhausted by all of your hating each other. You know, one option is just to disagree with someone's take and not try to make it into an indictment of their value as a human being. Let's read that again. I'm really exhausted by all of you hating each other. You know, one option is to just disagree with someone's take and not try to make it into an indictment of the value as a human being. Can I just pull up a couple tweets, if y'all don't mind sticking by? Because this is going to be the read, maybe of the century. I don't know. But I think I got to get into her ass for the third time. They say a third time's a charm, right? Yeah. So, let's pull something up. On March 30th, 2020, somebody tweeted this, our vice president. Testing for coronavirus and treatment needs to be free, period. Here goes Miss Gray. This is a good start, but is it okay from, is it okay to die from cancer or diabetes because you're poor? Then she adds, some folks are very deliberately ignoring the because you're poor part of this, which not so coincidentally, it's the part we can control with policy. The okay part of dying from cancer when the vice president's mother died from cancer over a decade ago. And that's why the K-Hive came for her. And we wasn't vicious. We was just telling her, like, how dare you? So that was one trolling tweet. And then there was one about John Lewis. This is one. John Lewis tweeted, I hope everyone had a safe holiday. I spent some of the break playing with my cats. Here goes Brianna Gray back in 2017. January 17th. No, January 2017. Excuse me. Careful. We know Lewis will throw cats under the bus if it helps the DNC. Bernie would have one. Hashtag. And that was 4 years ago. And then recently, she came for moi. Hillary Clinton just quote tweeted the hashtag K-Hive woman who recently put at Marianne Williamson and a number of other progressives on a hit list. I hope she apologizes and disavows this kind of toxic, hate-fueled politics. About to tear that ass up. So, Brianna Gray, or should I say your whole name? Brianna Joy Gray, how fucking dare you tweet such a thing of people need to stop hating each other and just civically disagree with one another when you were the one who viciously attacked people if they did not agree with Bernie Sanders. How fucking dare you, girl? And how motherfucking dare you put out that tweet when you attack John Lewis, Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, and me. And me, who was a random person on Twitter who put out a list of people that will go through things, was not a threat. It was the honest truth because of the way you acted during the primaries and post the primaries and during the election and now post during the election. How fucking dare you, girl, for even try to say we need to civically disagree? What nerve? The pot calling the kettle black. How fucking dare you? But, Miss Gray, I hope you're listening. I hope your ears are open. Let me just tell you. Nobody will ever civically disagree with you or civilly disagree with you, meant to use that in the right terms, because you've been nothing but a motherfucking irritating troll on Twitter for the last 5 years. You were nasty as fuck to your fellow African Americans, especially your elders. You time and time again viciously sent your bots to attack people like me, the vice president, the presidential candidate back in 2016, which is the former first lady and the former secretary of state, and a civil rights icon. How fucking dare you? So, as I said before to you, Miss Gray, you can, Apply for affordable housing because you're going to need it. You're going to have to polish that resume to get a real job because no other network will hire you. Bad faith is about to go down, plummet. And, you know, you're going to go through some shit, some more shit. It's about to happen. If you haven't learned from what you said from before about the vice president, you're going to learn today. So, Ms. Gray, I hope you take these words into consideration. Because you're really going to need somebody like me to listen to one of these days. Stop fucking attacking people for no reason. Just because they disagree with you, you don't go after them or go after their stature. Because you will suffer, and you're suffering now. So cry more. Sit down and be humble at once. If that makes sense. Now, I know I got into 3 people I needed to get into, but I forgot this person quoted Hillary's tweet after she quoted my tweet. After he quoted my tweet. Excuse me. So, I have to say this. So, here it is. Hillary Clinton retweets an account that tweeted a vile threat about a number of progressives, including journalists and former Democratic presidential candidate. Let's say that again. Hillary Clinton retweets an account that tweeted a vile threat about a number of progressives, including journalists and a former Democratic presidential candidate. And that was Walker Bragman. The same Walker Bragman who wrote an article about the liberal case for Donald Trump. Keep in mind, these progressives don't call themselves liberals. They actually bash liberals. So I don't know where that came from. But anyway. Walker Bragman, do you realize that Hillary Clinton was the Democratic presidential candidate nominee by the DNC? Bernie Sanders was in the primaries, but he was not the nominee. And I never attacked Bernie Sanders. I criticized him, but not attack him. There's a difference between criticizing and attacking. Criticizing is you're criticizing the policies and you're criticizing the behavior. You're not calling them a name, but you're criticizing the behavior. Attacking, when you attack somebody, attacking somebody is you're viciously going after them and going after anything that they stand for. But of course, this is Walker Bragman, folks. This is the same guy who comes from Long Island, a trust fund child, a cartoonist who was a national surrogate to Bernie Sanders and wrote the liberal case for Donald Trump and said that white supremacists should be viewed a different way and not should be viewed as a domestic terrorist. It was something like that in this tweet. It was something like that. Not from verbatim, but something like that. So, to Walker Bragman, I hope you're listening out there. I don't even know you. Okay, I don't know you. I don't want to know you. I never want to see you. I never want to see you walking around in New York City because you do live here in New York City. I mean, your parents is paying your rent, I believe, crying out loud. I never want to see you. I don't want to see your pimpled, nasty, ugly, dirty skin, awful hairline, nasty face ever. I don't want to see you. You're not a good person to look at. Also, I don't think you're that accomplished. I don't even know why you got that blue check by your name. Like, I care why you got it, but I don't even know why you have it, and you really don't do anything. You don't do anything. What do you do? I don't know what Walker Bragman does. Does anybody know what the hell Walker Bragman does for a living? Anyone? Any takers? I wouldn't think so. So Walker, don't come for me. Don't come for me if you don't know the full scope of anything. I didn't put you on that list. I should have, but I didn't. And the reason why I didn't because you're a non-factor ass to me. So continue to find a career that suits you, that you can actually make money for and make money off so your parents don't have to pay your rent. Okay? All right. But to the Rose Twitter caucus and to all the other jackasses out there, I hope y'all listening. I said what I said. I criticize people from both parties. And the reason why, because they deserve it. Republicans deserve it. Democrats deserve it. Moderates, conservatives, and progressives deserve it. Oh, but you get on progressives so much. I get on moderates too. I get into Kristen Sinema's ass all the time. She just don't get on my nerves like that. I get in Joe Manchin's ass every now and then when he's always making the headline like a fucking asshole. I get into Meghan McCain's ass like almost every day when I watch The View. I get into my fellow Torian, Richard John Santorum. Yes, I get in all their asses. But I also get into these progressives' asses, especially these white men, because they keep starting too much fucking bullshit on Twitter. You got the David Serratos of the world. You got the Ryan Knights of the world. You got the Walker Bragmans of the world. Secular Talk. God, I don't know what his name is. You got all these bad apples on Twitter starting all this bullshit, having all this bark and no bite. When people like me and other black women and other folks in the K-Hive check them, they immediately block motherfuckers right away because they don't like to be challenged with facts. And I'm the type of person, I will challenge you with facts. It's nothing but a quick Google search. Cited sources, not Wikipedia. Nah. But to the Brianna Grays of the world, to the Walker Bragmans of the world, and to the Katie Hoppers of the world, yes, I came for y'all asses because y'all deserve it. Y'all been nothing but assholes on this Bird app. Time and time again. And now you want to call for civility? You want to call for joining hands and reach out and touch somebody's hand? Bree, really? You want to call for that? Why you didn't call for that 5 years ago? Or better yet, during the primaries last year. Why you didn't call for that? You put out a tweet now after being unemployed for a whole year. You put out that tweet because you were tired of people coming for you saying you're about to go through some shit. And I'm not the only person that came for you. DSA came for you. Sam Cedar came for you. And I don't even like Sam Cedar. And he came for your ass. Because you're fucking crazy and you talking all this stupid shit. That's what you doing. That's what the fuck you doing. Until you straighten up, I am going to keep exposing your ass and I am going to keep calling your ass out for the person you are on Twitter. That's right. I am. Because you deserve every fucking bit of it. Every bit. Every last bit of it. As for Katie Hopper, you need to clean your face and wash your hair before you come for me. And Walker, instead of, quote tweeting Hillary Clinton, you should have quote tweeted me. Why you didn't do that? Because you're scared. You think because Hillary's a white woman, you think it's okay, you could come for the white woman. Come for the black woman, you run scared like a little bitch. That's what's wrong with you, quote unquote, Bernie surrogates, you Ryan Knights of the world and David Serratos of the world. You think it's okay to talk a lot of shit, but when you guys approach, you run scared and start blocking people like little BITC, you know what? So, to y'all men, stop acting like sissies. If you got something to say it. Stop running scared. Because nobody not scared of y'all. And nobody will be intimidated by y'all. Not your fan base neither. Nobody will be intimidated by y'all asses. But that's all the time I have for that. And also, like I said, I will be keeping an eye on the mayoral debates, which is coming up soon. Some people got mad at me because I said that I am supporting two candidates. I live in New York City. I can support who the fuck I want. I can support doo-doo if I want to. But I am supporting Maya Wiley and Eric Adams because they're the only candidates that actually has a plan to move this city forward. Ray McGuire is another millionaire that's like a black Bloomberg. Hell no. Sean Donovan, I don't really know you too much. Catherine Garcia, don't know you too much. Diane Morales, you're nice, but no. And we all know it's a hell no for what's your face? For Scott Stringer and Mr. Yang. No. No, no, no. Mr. Yang is not qualified. And I keep saying this like 80 million times. He is not qualified to run a city of 9 million people with a large ass budget. He's not. And if you mad, then I don't know what to tell you. You can go fuck yourself. But it's the facts. It's the real deal. And you'll see that I'm never wrong. Never ever wrong. Ever. Yeah, I don't know why they mad. Like, how you mad and you don't live in New York City? I live in New York City, born, raised, still currently live here. I am voting in my interest. So you guys can kiss my ass. Pretty much. And FYI, the Yang campaign is running a racist campaign against Eric Adams, and they even try to, I don't know, not sure, but they try to come for Wiley. But they really digging into Adams because Adams is the only one that can beat that ass as of right now. So, I mean, hey. It's the name of the game. But until then, you guys have a good night and see you sometime soon. Okay, bye-bye.